Alrighty, we got my video. So we have Sophia.
Christian.
Mom.
Perfect. So our topic today is about overcoming an obstacle through persistent effort. So I'm going to take each one of you one by one and we're going to talk about it real quick. Okay? Awesome. All right, Bon. So I want you to think about an obstacle you went through any time of your life. Okay? And you can either share it with us or you don't have to. It's up to you. It could be personal, but I have to ask you 3 questions, all right? Okay. So do you have your topic?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. What'd you like to share?
Getting into college.
Getting into college. That is a huge obstacle. Okay, so for my first question, how did you gain strength during getting into college?
It was really hard because I grew up in the ghetto, so like college wasn't the option. And I grew strength from the fact that my mom told me personally that she wanted me to be better than her, and I think my mom's pretty great, but it was basically I just had to dig deep and just be like, I'm gonna try this, and if I fail, I fail, but at least I tried. And so I literally applied for college and then like came out here and just literally winked the whole time.
That's awesome. You still going through their trial right now?
Yeah, classes. Some classes I take for my major are really hard, like math classes are hard. And so I've had to like suck up the pride and be like, hey, I need a tutor, like I don't get this, and just put in the extra work than I would in my other classes.
Yeah, good job. So my next question is, how did you get through it, or how are you currently getting through it, going through college?
I like to take breaks during the day, like I like naps, and that really helps me refocus and stuff. But before I like figured it out, I would call my second mom and be like, well, I don't know what to do, and then she would offer advice, and I kind of just at first just started going based off like what she said I should do, but then over time like I realized like I can do it this way, and I basically found my own little niche for my classes.
Okay, good. So you found like your own little system to go through that will help you instead of what other people think will help you. You found what works for you.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's a good way of going through it. Okay, so my last question is, what advice would you give someone that is overcoming your same obstacle?
It's gonna be hard, and at times you're gonna want to quit, and it's gonna be like, well, why am I doing this? But sometimes you just have to realize like the silver lining of the fact, and be like, if I get through this semester, if I get through this homework assignment, then it'll be better. And so I just say like, if you are thinking about going to college, like do it. Like, what's the worst that could happen? You fail. You know college isn't for you, and then you can find something else that you're good at. And it doesn't even have to be like college. It could be like cooking. Like, you just gotta try and try and try until like you finally get it right. Or if you don't get it right, be like, okay, I tried as much as I could. Let's go on to the next thing I think I can do. And then that's just what I do.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your insight. And thank you for helping me with this video.
You're welcome.
Christian, thank you so much for coming. You were great. So I want you to think about an obstacle that you went through. You can either share it or you can keep it to yourself. It could be personal, but I want you to think about that, okay? And I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and you can answer them the best of your capability or just go through that, okay? Okay, our first question is, during your obstacle, how did you gain strength from it?
How did I gain strength from my obstacle?
Yeah, like what you went through.
I think it just like provided experience for when future obstacles that were similar to that came into my life. I was able to handle them better and be able to know how exactly to kind of move through them and get through them, so that way I can ultimately move past them faster, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So that's a good way. Drops my papers. Okay. My next question is, how did you personally get through your obstacle?
Yeah, I think how I personally got through my obstacle was through a lot of prayer, honestly, and then also relying upon family a lot. I think family is a huge source in which everyone can use to be able to like build up and find strength to be able to overcome whatever obstacle that they're facing at the time. And then just having hope. I think hope is a huge key as well. If you're not being able to hope for the obstacle not to pass, then I don't think you're ever going to actually get through that obstacle. So you have to realize that it's ultimately going to end. And then once you do that, then you're like, okay, I can work through it.
Awesome. I like that answer. You got to have hope and trust that it's all going to work out. If you don't have that, what do you have?
True.
Okay, so what advice would you give someone for overcoming an obstacle?
I think the advice that I would give would just be to continue to press forward. Don't give up in overcoming that obstacle, no matter how hard or difficult it might be. Because there might be some obstacles. Obviously, there's some obstacles that are a lot harder than others. And so understanding that no matter the difficulty of that obstacle, that you're ultimately able to get through it. You just got to have faith and patience and hope and have people to rely on to be able to get through that.
Yeah, that is awesome advice. Thank you so much. Hopefully the people who, as my teacher will watch this, will agree with you. Thank you for helping me with my video.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, Sophia, thank you for coming into my interviewing room. So today we are just talking about obstacles and how you went through it. So I want you to think of an obstacle that you went through that can either be personal, so you don't have to share it with me, or if you're comfortable, you can share it with me. Only my teacher's gonna see this, but it's up to you. But I'm just gonna ask you 3 questions, okay?
Okay.
Sweet. So for the first question is during your obstacle, how did you go through it with strength?
With strength.
Yeah, like how did you gain strength? That's actually better than rephrasing it.
Well, so I guess probably being able to talk through it with people and realizing that that like your friends and family are there to help you move along, and so they're there to help you and give you strength when you need it or whatever. So like, yeah, I think talking through people helped to build my courage and help me go through certain things. So yeah,
That's awesome. I like that because that's how I go through things. I have to talk to people or it won't work. Okay, so my next question is, even when times were tough,
sorry, I had to.
even when times are tough, besides talking to it with other people, how did you personally go through it? Like, what did you do?
Well, the thing I'm thinking of is, so when I was younger, I had a lot of social anxiety when it came to adults. So I could never talk to teachers or talk to anyone who's older than me, and it would always give me a really hard time in like school and stuff. And so I'd kind of start like flunking in school because I wouldn't want to be around my teachers and stuff. But another thing that kind of just helped me, besides talking through it with like the counselor and like with my friends and family and stuff, trying to get me more comfortable with people, was just realizing that like a lot of people that I was surrounded by, we all thought the same. We all have the same emotions or whatever, and nobody's perfect. And it was just constantly me telling myself like, they're not perfect, you're not perfect, like there's no reason to be scared of it. And it was just a lot of practice and a lot of talking to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely do that, especially like, it's like, okay, they're going through something too. I don't need to I don't need to be anxious about it. Like they have their own stuff, I have my stuff. And it's a lot of like self-talk to kind of like overcome that. So I do what you do. Okay, and then so for my last question is, what advice would you give someone who's overcoming like your same obstacle or a different obstacle?
I think when you come to realize, so for me, it's like not only adults, but it's just everyone. I'm very anxious about everyone. It's like when you just come to realize that they are probably anxious too. I know a lot of
especially like young adults, like we all have anxiety, you know, like all of us.
We really do. We have so much.
Like we all do. And so like when you just come to realize, and not like they're not always judging you. For me, a lot was I thought I was always being judged by everyone. And so when you come to like be more okay with who you are and like know that this is my thought process, this is how I feel when things happen, when you understand yourself more, it's so much easier to understand everyone else around you, and you become way less like anxious around people. So I feel like the best advice is to get comfortable with yourself before you can get comfortable with other people.
I love that. Thank you so much for helping me with this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Okay.